Market Street here was the center of the demonstrations. A few hundred people showed up, each with their own message for the commander-in-chief.
We are not welcoming him here.
Olivia Jones brought her 2 kids down to Market Street tonight. She says they've been to several protests this summer.
We have to show up and take to the streets peacefully to show that we will not tolerate it.
A little over a block away from where President Trump was holding his town hall, there were flags of support to signs demanding his ouster. And conversation, too, like this discussion between a protester and a Trump supporter.
There has to be somewhere to say that there are Trump supporters out there, and we're not afraid anymore to say that we're here.
But David DeLucia said he wasn't sure why the president came to Philly.
I think you should really work on the more of the battleground state, like go out into the suburbs where more of his supporters are. Because right here, it might just be causing a mess.
With 319 murders in the city before today, the president has previously called out Philadelphia for not being tough enough on crime. As he stepped off Air Force One, he was greeted by FOP President John McNesby. The president told him he supports the police and to pass that on to the rank and file. Many of the protesters here want police reform.
I know it's something he has to do as far as politics and campaigning, but I find it terrible. He does not stand with most of Philadelphia's values from my experience.
Yolanda Hughes was here for her late husband, Troy, who died of complications from COVID-19.
He has divided our country. He has not told us truth. He has lied to us. So it is time for him to go.
And Pennsylvania is a battleground state. Both sides here know that, and they know that the candidates will be making several visits to our area over the next couple of months. As for this visit, my colleague Lauren Mayk has more on what the president had to say in tonight's town hall.
Matt, President Trump's visit to Philadelphia was a quick one, just a little over 2 hours. Only a handful of voters even saw President Trump in person, though he is counting on Pennsylvania voters for his re-election.
President Trump in Old City 7 weeks before Election Day, taking questions from voters who have not committed who they'll vote for. Tonight in a town hall anchored by ABC News' George Stephanopoulos, a diabetic conservative voter from the Lehigh Valley, a key region.
I thought you were doing a good job with the pandemic response until about May 1st. Then you took your foot off the gas pedal. Why did you throw vulnerable people like me under the bus?
Well, we really didn't, Paul. We've worked very hard on the pandemic. We've worked very hard. It came off from China.
President Trump tonight defending his handling of the coronavirus.
Why would you downplay a pandemic that is known to disproportionately harm low-income families and minority communities?
Yeah. Well, I didn't downplay it. I actually, in many ways, I upplayed it in terms of action.
The president also said a vaccine could come in 3 or 4 weeks, but with no specifics. Asked about racial injustice and police force used on black individuals, including Breonna Taylor, President Trump calling them tragic events, then pivoting to attack Democrat-run cities and support police.
No cash bail, just weak policies on crime. We have to give the police the respect that they deserve, and we have to give them their mojo. We have to let them protect us.
At one point, the president pressed by Philadelphia pastor Carl Day.
You have yet to address and acknowledge that there's been a race problem in America.
So if you go, well, I hope there's not a race problem. I can tell you there's none with me, because I have great respect for all races, for everybody. This country is great because of it.
Philadelphia will be in the political spotlight again this week when Democratic vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris is here on Thursday. In Old City, I'm Lauren Mayk, NBC 10 News.
And this is just the first stop in a week-long push for Pennsylvania. There are more campaign events ahead. The president's son, Donald Trump Jr., will speak to supporters tomorrow at a sportsman club in Harrisburg. Joe Biden will attend a town hall in his hometown of Scranton on Thursday. And as Lauren mentioned, on the same day, his running mate Kamala Harris will make a campaign stop in Philadelphia.